Thank you, Linda, for bringing your insight into the magazine, because I mean, we've known each other for a while, and you being in France and also in Geneva, so you move swiftly between the two countries. It's really powerful to have I think a magazine where more writers come in that have a different perspective, or have a perspective from a different global perspective. And it's really great to read your pieces and your emojis that you put in and all of it. I love what you say and how you write. And I know that your whole body of work is based upon spiritual alignment. Maybe you could share something about that.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, my journey was I was in the rat race for quite some time, kept myself on that turning little wheel until went through my second burnout. And then somebody mentioned about CSL Geneva. And I thought, what is this? So I went that Sunday, and I'm not joking. I know it's a phrase that's often used, but I literally felt at home. I just couldn't believe. I kept wondering, why is it taking me so long? Why to find this kind of community, like-minded people like this? So that's what opened me up. I'm sure we're all opening up from even before we choose to come on this earth. We're already opened up. But it helped me begin to let go of the layers that I had put around myself and to reconnect to who I truly was and to feel safe in doing that. And that is what for me was hugely important. It was being opened up, both my heart and my mind, to the fact that we all have this within us. And so it really did transform my life. I then became much more confident to show who I truly was, who I truly am, rather than having to put on the masks, and many of the masks I didn't even know I had or I was wearing, but to be able to let go of these masks and say, look, this is who I am. Take it or leave it, and that's your choice. And that was such a liberating experience for me. I'm not saying it was easy, because I had to reconnect to my true identity, because I had gone through phases of creating an identity or a persona to fit the situation or the context I was living in, especially professionally. So when I was able to say, do you know what? I want to open up and be who I truly am. And then the questions were, yeah, but who am I really? Who am I beneath all of the layers? And that was scary. That was really scary because I wasn't sure even who I would find. And part of me was worried about who would I find behind all of these layers. But being in this community, the CSL Geneva, and then connecting more globally to this philosophy, and it helped me open up. So having been through that experience myself, I then really feel it's my mission to help others open up to who they truly are, whether that be through writing or workshops or talks or whatever. But that for me is really my life mission now, is to help people reconnect within.
That's so powerful. It's so powerful that it's your experience, and of course we each have our experiences, and then to bring that through into your work and what you're doing in the world. Thank you so much for being a part of, well, for being who you are and for saying yes to being in the magazine.
Thank you. Thank you.
And shining your light in this way for readers. I think it could be amazing for you to write your articles in French as well. Now that we're in the blog format,
that
to have it in English and in French, why not? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. And Dr. Missy and Laura, of course, with Dr. Missy, let's tune in. I had an oops moment this week where I published your article and it wasn't your article, it was your name. And
I know. I looked at that and I don't remember writing an article with that title. I go, well, but maybe she just retitled it, you know? And then I read it and I go, no, that's not mine.
So it came back out as yours, and of course your style of writing and the way that you write in this. It's an etheric reminder. It's such a reminder, your writing, of who I am. And it's a vignette style. It's short and it's very succinct and it's extremely aligned with the eternal. I love your writing, Dr. Missy.
Thank you. I mean, I've been a contemplative for a long time, you know, and I've had to learn to go external, to be out there. But I'm really one of those that love to sit in the corner and just observe. And it's funny when I tell people that I'm an introvert, because they'll say, "Oh no, not you." But really, you know, and my whole journey has been observing and then seeing where help was needed, you know, and my mission is to hold the door of consciousness open, that all may enter. How to show people to go within and be the divine, and be the prayer itself, and but yet have joy doing that. You know, sometimes you can be unhappy, but that doesn't mean you can't be in joy. I can remember feeling depressed for a long time, but yet I could still be joyful. And it was an interesting conundrum, you know, to be in that feeling state of feeling depressed, but yet I could be joyful at times at the same time, and working through those energies and of like, can I reveal the true self? Because one thing about a lot of us, as we're here to be the revealers of who and what we are in truth, and hold that light, hold that that radiation of the prayer itself, and to be you know, the thing itself, is how do we do that as a, you know, first we do a lot of practicing, but it's that going from the practice to, can we be it, and can we just, the thing is that the difficulty is in the consistency of practice. That's what, you know, people, and so I've tried to, for my students, I've tried to distill it down to something simple, as perhaps God is, or let us center down into the light. God is there, you know. So instead of saying da 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 da, you know, but just say, you know, I am light. I am the light. God is. Or let us center down, and having them do, when they do prayer or spiritual mind treatment or whatever, to claim it. To claim it, not just to speak it, but to claim it and send it down through the heart, and because then they feel it, and then when they go out to the store or something and they see something going on, they can just say, God is, our divine order is there, and that way they're not taking on the responsibility of fixing anything. It's not theirs to do, but they can call the divine into it. And then that's just a simple practice, that and how to get to be the prayer itself, because by doing it and sending out through the heart, then they get to the place where I be it, you know, I be the light. And but that's what we're here to do, is just to radiate that light, and then by radiating it, that's the true self, is the light. Yeah. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. You know, it's that radiation, that revealing of the light. And when we reveal that, then anything else that's not truth has to dissolve, because that's law. That's higher divine law. And so when we see everything crashing about us, what do we do when you say you're holding space? Well, that's you're holding that light as you, and that's the space you're holding. So, and that's presencing, and that's, that's being as the divine self itself. So.
How powerful that you put words to your writing in this way. I think I will definitely, I'm going to segment your three pieces here and put them into the magazine, because it's a beautiful introduction, what you've just shared, Linda and Dr. Missy, for new readers that come into the magazine to really know why you're writing the way you write, and what your mission is with your writing, for people to read it and to understand how they can use the writing. It's beautiful. It's an embodiment, isn't it, of prayer, of knowing who we are.
Yeah, and it becomes just the breath, In Goldsmith had said that, when people went to him and they asked for prayer treatment, and he would just say, done. And I thought, how did he do that?
Yeah.
How did he do that? And when I understood that it all had to do with being in the heart space where the divine flame is, that, Dr. Holmes, Ernest Holmes says, you go into the practitioner space within, and there you speak your word. And so if I go and I think the divine flame, there's so many teachings in all the different metaphysical teachings about the divine flame. And that's the animating spark of the divine. And you go and you just imagine yourself there, and you just claim your space there. And you just say, I am. I am. Yes. God is. I am. And therefore, when you're there, you are speaking as your true self, your authentic self, your authority, as the Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, you name it. It's just divine. And you're the divine CEO, and you're there saying God is. And that's all you have to say when someone says, can you pray for me? And you say, sure. And you take a breath. God is done. It's done in that moment, because you've breathed through that space. That's the breath prayer. In Aramaic, the air which is within and around me, that's the term for the Holy Spirit. And in that, you're breathing God, and God is breathing you. And so, done. How simple. In the breath, in the moment of breathing, the prayer is done. And it is that simple. The difficulty is the consistency. And the difficulty is for people who think it can't be that simple. But it is, you see.
It's intention, isn't it? It's when we place that intention in it, then it is that simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that simple.
Wow. Dr. Missy, I'm loving this conversation. I'm going to move swiftly with Rev Laura here. I know, Rev Laura, you've been an amazing devotee of Joel Goldsmith also.
Absolutely. The line I love from Joel is, you take one step towards God and God takes 1,000 steps.
Yeah.
All you have to do is surrender, say yes, and open yourself up to it, and God rushes in. It is constantly looking for a place for it to be within us and for us to create through it. Whatever, creating our circumstances, creating our experiences, creating. And, that's kind of leads right into what I'm doing. I think of creativity as my superpower. Mm-hmm. And the more I'm in that creative flow, the more I'm in touch with spirit, the more I feel it. And back to your point about practice and consistency, that's what really set me off on this. So in 2016, I started, I like to, every year start a new spiritual practice to kind of up level my spiritual practice. So I'd been at a women's retreat, and I took this workshop on something called Zentangles, which was meditative drawing. And I thought, this is cool. I like it. But then I started doing it, and I was doing it every day. I was very consistent with it. And one day I looked at what I was drawing, and I thought, well, this looks like a mandala. Mm-hmm. And if you're not familiar with a mandala, they're generally a geometric shape representation of spiritual concepts, spiritual ideas. Oftentimes you'll see goddesses or deities represented within mandalas. I actually just prefer the geometric kind of symbols, but So I started drawing mandalas in 2016, and I've drawn at least one every day since then. And it's a huge practice for me. I've got over 4,000 mandalas drawn, and I have 3 coloring books and 1 book on how to do it published so far with different things, because everybody kept saying, "Oh, these are beautiful. You need to make a coloring book out of it." Okay, that's my thing. Is I love the black and white of it. I love the simplicity of it. I love that. And so so anyway, I started. So then I've started really delving into the research about the coloring of mandalas as a spiritual practice. And so that's what my article is all about, and different ways that, different meanings of colors, different ways that you can use the mandalas, just the way that you can go into it. And to me, it's opened up so many things in my life. I tell my community here all the time, I'm a crafty little devil, because I some kind of new art form or new craft. I run a group on Saturday mornings called Soul Crafters, where I teach people art for spiritual practices. And so it just has opened me up so much and filled me so much with that flow of spirit. I mean, I just feel it moving through me all the time. And it shows up in all the different ways, planning things for our community here in Las Vegas, for writing, for my speaking, for doing different retreats and workshops and things like that. There's always something flowing. I made a list on Sunday was the 40th day of the year, and I listed everything that I had created so far that year, because that's my purpose. My focus this year is creativity. And it was just, I was amazed. I was like, oh, so I just find it to be a powerful way to be in touch with spirit. Like I said, spirit's always looking for a place to create. And if we're not open to it, it's going to find somebody else to create through. And sometimes that's the perfect way. And sometimes it's we're missing an opportunity for ourselves. And so for me, it's that whole idea of just entering into that flow of creativity. Again, aligning myself, practicing, the practice I find takes away, it has taken away a lot of self-judgment, because I just did an art show, my first solo art show, and it was, and you
told me it was amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And I was telling my friend who helped me with it, I said, I'm happy if people buy it, but that's not my point of doing it. It's not, it has nothing to do with that. It's all done for me. And if somebody else gets something out of it, great. But I'm doing this for me, and this is my practice, and this is my way of expressing spirit in this particular form. And so I'm just so filled with it all the time, because I'm actually engaging in conscious communion with spirit and allowing spirit to move through me.
Wow.
It's so beautiful in the flow, in this creative to be in this flow, isn't it? So since this year, because I know Dr. Missy knows this about me, I love feng shui, and I've been practicing feng shui for years. And I promise this year something happened at the beginning of the year for me, and it was like, I'm really going to put it into practice. And my home has become this kind of art palette. It's okay, this is my home as well. This is our home. It's amazing how we can really bring that creative flow through into everything, where we are, where we live, even where I put a crystal or not. It's all creativity showing up as me. So I really hear what you're saying, and I think, how can we live our lives more like that and not make it secondary, not make art and creativity and crafting, and not make that, oh, that's the thing I do on the side, when actually it's who we be, how we show up, even what colors we wear, all of it.
The food we cook, the way we all of that we do, it's just actually being in that flow.
Yeah.
And allowing ourselves not to be in boxes.
Yes.
Because I feel myself, I'm here. Oh no, I do this. This is my norm. This is what I do. But when I can, the circle and the dot, when I can let go of the circle and only focus on the dot, and then see that it is infinite possibility. Everything is open. It's such a liberating, freeing feeling.
It's really empowering, isn't it? To be a creative being in every way and question, well, how can I be more of that? And Reverend Laura, your book is out now. Thank you for bringing your book into the world. Mindfulness and Money? Mindfulness
and Money Magic.
And Money Magic.
Yeah, Mindfulness and Money Magic. So
you made a course last year and decided.
Yeah. It was time to put it out. And like I said, it was, again, I just thought of something to do with the community, and it turned into a wonderful product that's coming out. And I've actually got the class ready to go with it too. So I'll be offering an online class to go with the book. So it's it's just exciting. I'm speaking at a couple of other centers in Southern California this spring, and so I'm taking it to their communities as well. It's very exciting. The one thing I think for me that with the creativity is, and this is actually a product of the Zentangle thing, is it's small. So it's a drawing that's this big. And so I'm able to complete it in that short period of time, and I feel like I have a completed project. Again, what I said before we started, it's like done is better than perfect. And when I get done with that little thing, I feel confidence in myself. I've created a piece of art in 30 40 minutes, and it's beautiful, and it's coming from within me. And so I think if we think of creativity as it has to be something grand, then we get stymied and we can't move forward. It kind of sets us off. But if we think of it in small doses, so like, today I'm going to be creative with the clothes that I wear, or today I'm going to be creative with this dish that I make for dinner, or today I'm going to be creative in how I clean my living room, or arrange the coffee table display, or whatever it is. But keeping it small makes us feel, those little steps of success. It's like the same thing with treatment. When I started doing spiritual mind treatment, our prayer, I started small. I started with something that I actually could conceive of doing, and then I gradually added on to that, and on and on and on. And I'm a former science teacher. I love the experimentation that we have here in religious science, and the fact that we can test things out and see, does this work for me? And so doing that with all of the areas of our lives, I just think is really a powerful way to do it. And little successes build on themselves.
What I hear is this joy, and this is something that I've now made the decision in my life that I'm only doing things that bring me joy. Full stop. In fact, I made a decision about being in a community council, whatever. Somebody's talking to me, I'm not quite sure. And up here, I was thinking, oh yes, I can do this. I can continue. I can do this. I get some ideas. Yeah. And then listening within, I asked myself the question, like in the body, listen, because the soul speaks as we go through. Yes, does it bring me joy? No, it doesn't bring me joy. The answer was crystal clear. Absolutely crystal clear. It was like, no. So the answer is no. So why are you trying to pretend it is? So it was fun. I did a little bit of a loop, but just knowing that we always have the answers within as to what brings us joy. And I think that's for me, when I listen about the mandalas, when I listen about connecting and radiating the light, what I hear is in myself connecting to being this love, being this joy, and radiating that out to everyone. Yeah.
Yes. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Oh my gosh. I know I could hang out here and share and talk for so much longer, and our time, we're coming for the close of the show today. We had a little bit of an interesting beginning, and yeah, we've done it. And thank you each of you for being so present and bringing that joy and shining that light and sharing your message in the magazine, the Divine CEO magazine, as I know that readers from around the world tune in and read and catch the essence of who you are and what you're saying and why the magazine is here, to empower us all and inspire us. And I want to thank you for saying yes and being a part of it. I'm excited for the expansion and the creative ideas that are showing up as the magazine kind of adventures, as it adventures.
And thank you, Laura, for the work that you're doing. We see what you're doing with Kenya. And with this magazine, you're bringing together people. We've got connections all around the world. We've got people in Ukraine. We've got people in Crimea who, those who can read English, are just desperate to get in and start reading it. And you'll soon have the technology to be able to have it all translated, in a click, which is going to open so many doors. So thank you for enabling this word to be spread around the world. Thank you.
It reminds me of the song Bread and Roses, a line in there that says the rising of the women means the rising of the race. And it's that, and it's not just gender, it has to do with that energy, the energy of the divine and rising up to receive the love that flows through us all and the light. And so thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for if you're watching here, thank you for being here. You can find Rev Laura Hallett at her website and Dr. Missy at her website, Linda at her website. And you can find all of the website addresses through the Divine CEO website because the writers are there with their information, and do read their articles. More and more articles are being put on every day. I'm putting on articles, and so you'll find something that resonates, even if it's a sentence, something that resonates in your heart to give you an inspiration for your life. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you, technology, for at least lasting to the end with a little bit of noise.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you all.
Bye. I don't know what's